So welcome once again back to the TNTV News Desk with the sequel to last week's episode, which if you didn't get to see it, then get back on YouTube and take a look and you'll find out why we're wearing these ridiculous red hats. But we left you actually with green hats on. We're starting this week's show with red hats on because, you know, people say to us, well, how do I know if I'm in the red, don't they?
Yes, they do. Sorry, we keep
bashing into
knocking beaks.
Yes.
Yes, they do. They keep saying, well, how do I know? Well, I tell you what, the best answer to that is see the results you're getting. So remember last week what we talked about was, you know, if you are in this kind of energy, you know, if you are in worry, doubt, fear, anxiety, you know, like taking responsibility for things that are none of your business, you know, what you're going to find is you're going to get attracted things and people that are also in a red kind of in the head energy. And that's not what you want.
Absolutely. So it's all about awareness. Now, awareness is an interesting word, but as you expand your awareness, as you become more aware of your physical being, your state, your energy levels, then of course then you're in a state of being able to do something about it. So most people do not realise when they're sitting there in red energy. So we thought, okay, what would be a clear sign for you to go, oh my gosh, I'm one of that 96% of people that live a lot of their time in the red, searching for love and happiness and joy and all those beautiful things in the wrong place. So there are things that you specifically tend to run or do, patterns that you will run that are a giveaway, and there are 5 key ones. So think about it. Are you doing any of these things? It's like you become addicted. The red state, the thinker as we called it last week, becomes addicted to certain things. Now those things are number one,
alcohol.
Alcohol. If you're addicted to alcohol or nicotine, then there you go. There's one thing. We'll put you straight in the red. So that's interesting, isn't it? Because all it does is changes your biochemistry or your energy artificially to make you feel better, but actually still you're not feeling good.
Yeah, that's the only reason why people get into addictions, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's because what they're trying to do is change how they feel.
Okay.
In actual fact, they've got to start off changing their hats.
Indeed, yes. Addiction number 2 is
food.
Food, yes. How many of us rush to the cupboard when we're not feeling like it's quite as good as we do to get the comfort of some great food or less than great food.
Especially sugary stuff.
Sugary stuff. Sugar is the number one. Jason Vale, one of our mentor people on health, says that sugar is like the cocaine of the food industry. Yes. They put it into everything to make you want it more, and then you start to become addicted to sugar. I mean, that's bizarre, isn't it? So that's number 2. If you're addicted to food, you know, chocolates, oh dear, that's one of those things, lots of sugar in it. That sort of thing, yeah?
Thing.
Number 3 is
drugs.
Drugs, yes. Now, of course, there are 2 drug industries. Now, please, there's the government. Oh, did I say the government? There's the government who authorise drugs, which obviously there are some great things. Nikki was once challenged. We don't do drugs at all in any way, shape or form, prescribed, non-prescribed or illegal. There's all those types of drugs. But Nikki was challenged once in Fiji. She got a huge bite from one of those nasty little mosquito creatures, and we had to resort to some penicillin. A doctor was there. He said, look, if you don't take something for this, you're going to get a really bad infection. So Nikki resorted to taking some antibiotics, and the next day it was like magic.
Yes.
So of course, you know, the government are, you know, doing some great work there. I'm not trying to knock the government in doing some great work in fact in healing people. You know, it's like we say, our parents are alive today. They're probably watching this. Hello, Mum and Dad. Yes, and between a lot of them, they take about 50 tablets a day. You know, but there you go. So they're all, you know, there is some good stuff out there. Let's knock it too much. But of course, you know, then there's all the negative stuff. You know, we did a thing once where somebody in our room had a headache, and everybody, all the women, and reached for their handbag, and out came, you know, all these non-prescribed drugs to help solve the headache. And we're going, oh, hold on a minute, you don't need that. You don't need that. All you need to do is to do this. And we showed her how to get rid of a headache in 5 minutes without doing anything like that. So there you go. So drugs. What's next?
Gambling.
Gambling, yes. I mean, oh my God, what's the government doing now? I sound like I'm government bashing today, but they're legalising. I am on my soapbox. They're legalising gambling now. You know, how many winners are there? You know, I mean, Nikki's dad was an on-course bookmaker. Trust me, he was a winner. Everybody that gambled with him really only won occasionally, yeah, because, you know, gambling is a very addictive thing to do. But the chances are, unless you're really a professional at it, then basically you're going to be a loser, and it sort of sucks you in and gets you caught there. And then the last last big one, the big one,
specialised subject.
a specialised subject is
sex.
Are you addicted to sex? Now, that looks different for men and women. So, on the man front, it tends to look like pornography, the biggest business in the world. You know, that can be anything from a video. It could be late night television. It could be magazines in a shop. It could be right down to prostitution and all sorts of things like that.
Or going out on a Friday night just to meet somebody to have sex with.
Yes, indeed. It can look anything from the very, very dark red to slightly lighter red, which we think is okay. Now, for women,
for girls, it's slightly different. So be aware. This is what we're saying to you. Be aware of what you're addicted to. And when we say addicted to sex, a lot of girls are going to go, well, I'm not addicted to sex. So you could either be one end of the scale, which is quite a kind of masculine way of being addicted to sex, which would be going out on Friday night trying to find a man to have sex with, or the other end of the scale is you're just addicted to being in a relationship. So that would look like you'd get into a relationship with somebody that you don't really want to be with, or you stay in a relationship with somebody you don't really want to be with. And that would be because they're in some kind of red energy as well, and your addiction would be to having the feeling that having a man have sex with you gives you a feeling that you're lovable. Well, of course, all this is red, whether it be the man or the woman.
Yep.
And the sex that tends to happen. You
know what? We've run out of time. We have run out of time. So I knew this was going to end up like Jack Bauer on 24. This could be sequel after sequel after sequel. But we trust you're getting something from it. And has your awareness gone up? Have you got any of those 5 addictions, or maybe as in my old world, I had more than one. So I had to learn how to get into a different space to solve that challenge. So between the two of us, separately, and we got ourselves into.
Well, hair all over the place.
A green space, and then we met each other, and of course now have a fantastic time. So, yes, next week we'll deal with a little bit more red and green.
Yes.
And as I say, we trust you're getting something magic from this. And I think that's it from the TNTV News Desk this week.
Big message. Are you aware of what you are doing?
Yes. So it's good night from me, Tony V, and it's good night from her,
Nikki V. Bye.
See you next week.